We're covering the bony orbit, or the orbital complex, or the eye socket. We've talked about some of our different cranial bones and facial bones. This is just a conceptual idea that the 7 bones that make up the bony orbit fuse together to give me what holds my eye. So we're describing just those, and I tried to color this the best I can, but this red circle, as I pull it into this black circle, we're describing those bones that come together. So there's 7 bones: frontal, zygomatic, maxillary, sphenoid, palatine, ethmoid, and lacrimal. Those fuse together to give me what's called my bony orbit. So frontal bone, which is my forehead, contributes down to my cheekbone, my zygomatic bone. We learned sphenoid bone that makes up part of my middle cranial fossa, the floor inside when I open up the skull. And then also the same with ethmoid as we get towards the anterior cranial fossa. Remember, ethmoid has that perpendicular plate, and part of that will come down and stick out here with my nasal conchae. My lacrimal bone is where my tears develop, so just on the corner of my eye here. So I get lacrimal bone, ethmoid bone, and palatine bone. And then down to my maxillary bone, which is my mustache bone and part of the roof of my mouth, but it still comes up all the way around my nose. So we'll often use a mnemonic for these. So you'll see different ones out there. I prefer you just learn the bones, but one I see students use is called "Please Feed My Zebra," but "please" is spelled incorrectly. It's spelled as P-L-E-S. So the P-L-E-S means palatine, lacrimal, ethmoid, and sphenoid. And then so I said "please feed," just the F is my frontal, my, the M is maxillary, and zebra, Z is the zygomatic. Sometimes not a fan of mnemonics, as we've seen in a previous video, because now you're learning something completely different that's not associated with the eye at all, but some students like using them. So "please feed my zebra," but "please" is spelled P-L-E-S. This is how you can remember the 7 bones, but you're already learning them independently. So this is just a concept of understanding the bony orbit, or the orbital complex, is how these 7 bones fuse together to give me one distinct area to hold my eye.